You never know what's going to happen out in the water.
How to rescue people if they are in the sea already and in trouble.
Braving freezing water, high seas and unpredictable situations.
Well, guys, you've been in the water now for 15 minutes.
Those are the conditions more than 1,800 dedicated marine rescue volunteers are willing to put themselves through every day.
The Volunteer Marine Rescue Service is called out every day at various locations around the state.
From Esperance in the south to the Kimberley in the north, they're our lifeline at sea.
It's a vital component of the Department of Fire and Emergency Services.
DFES Marine Services Manager Mark Eates says with 20,000 kilometres of coastline to cover, they need 38 crews on standby. Today, 3 of our state's rescue groups are being put through their paces in sea survival training.
Today we have members from Rockingham, Coburn and Mandurah.
Understanding how best to help someone stranded at sea means understanding what the body and mind experiences.
What it's like to be in the water, so when you rescue people, you know what they're going to be thinking.
Volunteers are thrown in the deep end. They must work as a team to stay warm and together.
Going in the huddle position.
What they'll do is they'll bring their knees up and then they'll interlock their arms.
Yep.
And then interlock their fingers. Okay?
Why the fingers?
Why the fingers? Because when your fingers get wet and cold, they'll stick together. They won't come apart. This means that the crew in the water then rest or even have a sleep.
For survival at sea, there's certainly safety in numbers. As a group, they float together, completely intertwined all the way.
To stay together, we'll put their feet under each other's armpits and then move in unison using their arms.
After half an hour in the water, the cold is starting to kick in. The volunteers start to work out who is coping best and who needs more support.
Just talk, just check each other, make sure each other's okay.
Deploying the life raft correctly is critical. It's designed to hold 8 people, but when you're at sea and in survival mode, you find the space to carry more.
It's very snug.
It's pretty tight in here.
If you had said, what are you going to be doing in 5 years, I didn't think I was going to be doing this.
Nikki Russell is one of the youngest volunteers. At just 23 years old, she's following in her father's footsteps.
I actually have a hobby with fishing and going along with Dad on the boat, so it's actually really enjoyable to get amongst all the stuff that the Sea Rescue get involved in it.
It's good to have her on board and it's good to have younger people in the group.
Come on, guys, row your boat.
Brad's been a volunteer for 2 years. He takes the leadership position on board the raft. He says keeping up morale is critical.
It's much better than being in the water.
Today is a great example, like keeping warm. As soon as I hit the water, I got hypothermia. I was shaking pretty badly, so that was a really big wake-up call.
Next, it's man overboard. There's no mannequins or dummies. Today, it's the real deal.
Everyone has the opportunity to go in overboard, to experience man overboard.
Training officer at Rockingham Sea Rescue, Graham Martin, takes me through some basic training before jumping in.
Once you're in the water, we're going to come back and recover you. We're going to throw you the life ring.
And how can I assist the rescue?
We don't want you to assist Cassie, because you've been out in the water for how long we don't know, and you may be exhausted and you may be suffering from hypothermia, exhaustion and things like that. So you leave it up to us, we'll do all the hard work for you.
In the water, cold and alone, the boat disappears from view and a touch of fear sets in.
Man overboard, starboard side!
It's only been a few minutes, but in a real sea emergency, it could be hours before help arrives. Today, there's certainly an overwhelming sense of relief when the boat reappears.
I'll throw you a life ring.
Everyone thinks it's going to happen to someone else, so we really like to think that safety's right up there and things to think about.
Back on dry land, and the team is taken through a flare demonstration.
Check the wind direction. So the wind is coming from the south there, so the smoke's going to blow that way. So we don't want to be standing there and letting it blow in our face.
They're from all walks of life, but share a common passion for boats and the ocean.
So Volunteer Marine Rescue is called out every day throughout the state. There's a couple of thousand rescues every year.
A call-out could be as simple as a boatie running out of petrol, or as critical as someone lost overboard in the middle of the night. Whatever the situation, the rescuers are ready around the clock to respond.